And we are live. What's good, Internet? Your boys are back. Wow. What a slate of games yesterday going into last night. Before we get into those games, it is August 24th. It is Kobe Day. Yesterday was Kobe's birthday. So just want to say rest in peace to Kobe. Still super sad about that every time I think about it. So shout out to Kobe.
Love Kobe. Sucks. It's really a shame. Happy Kobe Day to everybody.
I think the best way to honor Kobe was to talk about some of the performances last night. And I know everybody probably thinks that we're going to start out with Luka, but twist. We're going to start out with last night's closer, Donovan Mitchell versus the Jamal Murray show.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, we've been saying it that we need Jamal Murray to step up, and he did everything he possibly could last night.
He was insane.
He was absolutely insane. I didn't know he had that in him. I never would have thought he'd be able to put up 50 in a playoff game. But give it up. He did all that he possibly could to carry this team. Donovan Mitchell is just this goddamn good. We've seen its consistency. It's not an accident. It's not an anomaly anymore. But I hate the Nuggets. I hate this team. This is they did everything they possibly can to get this matchup against the Jazz, and they're blowing it.
They got it. Boy, did they get it.
They got it, and they're getting everything they deserve.
And, you know, the one game they won, they had to sweat it out in overtime.
Right.
The problem
was Mike Conley in that game? Was it the no Mike Conley game?
No, he wasn't in game 1 or 2.
Right.
And that's why I thought that Denver was going to have a pretty easy time with the matchup. I thought losing Conley, losing Bogdanovich, I was just trying to figure out where the hell the points are going to come from if Jordan Clarkson doesn't light it up every night. And except for one game, he's pretty much lit it up every night off the bench.
Every night.
Conley has played stupid good in the 2 games that he's played well in. And it, on the flip side, it doesn't look like Denver has enough because it took a 50-point game from Jamal Murray just to even be in the game. And Donovan Mitchell has been ridiculous. This dude has taken a leap that you want like your superstar players to take. I mean, 2 50-point games in the same series has been done by Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson. That's the list.
It's insane, man. I remember watching him rookie year. I was so impressed, but again, there's just so many bad shots that were coming with all the shots he was taking. Right now, they're not bad shots anymore. It's crazy for what he's doing. I mean, bravo and kudos to Donovan Mitchell for doing what he's doing.
And all right, so last night I was watching, and it's a close game. You're getting into the final minutes. And just strategically, I just can't understand for the life of me why NBA teams are still doing this. Why are we playing drop coverage on ISO scorers like Donovan Mitchell, like Damian Lillard? Why are we doing this? It doesn't make sense. Literally, you're leaving your big to not show. And I know we hate mid-range shots, but in the playoffs, mid-range shots, especially in clutch time, are good shots. And you're basically giving a guy like Donovan Mitchell an open free throw line jumper. It's an insane strategy. You have to switch your defense up. I get that you have like your philosophies as a defensive team, but it gets to a point where if this dude is cooking like he's cooking, like you can't just give him that free point. You have to like body him up, make him work, show on him, blitz him, try to get the ball out of his hands. Just do anything. Just do anything.
The only argument I would make or debate for that, and I agree with you just about like 99% of the time. The only difference I'm going to say is that Donovan Mitchell he only hit 4 threes last night. He got 51 points or only 4 threes. So I mean, granted, to cover the mid-range jumper, you kind of got to trust the big a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather just body him up from the start.
I mean, look, the 3-point shot, whatever. When it comes down to it, I'd rather just not give him an open shot.
I mean,
And
I'd rather him not have the ball. Let anybody else beat you.
that's it. Blitz him.
Right. Like,
double him. Like at the top of the key, get the ball out of his hands. Because it's just, you can't give a guy who's cooking like that open shots. And that's what you're doing. You're giving him an open shot in that scenario. Like wide open. Gobert was way, 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 way too low to even like get a hand up in the drop coverage. So it's not like, I get it. You're trying to stop him from getting to the rim. It doesn't make sense to me at all when a guy's cooking like that and it's a close game. I think you just gotta, nut up and fight over screens. And I think we're going to talk about that same kind of scenario with Luka in a little bit, but you gotta switch stuff up. You can't get predictable. And Donovan Mitchell's just walking into these little mid-range shots open. You got to switch that up, going forward, I think.
I think so as well. I mean, again, it's situation by situation basis. We'll talk further when we get to the Luka one. But, I mean, at least if they get the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands, they at least have Mike Conley. I mean, Dallas, you take the ball out of Luka's hands. I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk. We'll segue right into that. Luka's performance was ridiculous. The fact that he's able to go up against literally what I think most people would consider the top two of what, 5 wing defenders at least.
Are you talking about Reggie Jackson or no?
Yeah, I'm talking about Reggie Jackson in the scenario. The fact that he's able, it doesn't matter.
This game was insane. This is a really fun game. At the end, I mean, it came down to, the last play. We have an inbound pass, and Kawhi starts on Luka. And there was kind of like a half-ass pick that just got the man switched. So you have you end up with Reggie Jackson on Luka for the last possession. It's insane. I mean, there's so many different options we can do, except that doesn't have Reggie Jackson end up on Luka. You got to go over. You got to go over the screen there. Like, fight through. Paul George, you shot 3 for 14 last night. You go defend him. It's ridiculous.
I'm not doing this switch one-on-one stuff. I'm getting the ball out of his hands.
Not with Luka when he was, just absolutely on fire. Get
the ball out of his hands. Make somebody else beat you.
When players have step backs like Harden and Luka, you gotta do everything you possibly can to get the ball out of their hands to start. Don't let them catch the ball off the inbound, or you gotta go over. You have to. You just have to.
Like, look, Luka is a guy who will absolutely dissect you. Big Oso says he's already an MVP. I agree. I think he's going to be the easy favorite for MVP next year. If he's not, put all of the money on that, because that's what the NBA narrative is going to want to do. But with a guy like Luka, who can dissect you as a passer, when he's got time, I get it. You got to mix things up. Maybe you're going to want to switch. You're going to do all these different things. With 3.7 seconds left, you can't play this dude straight up. And I get it. If you leave your man, he's probably going to find that guy for an open jumper.
But let Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway, Finney Smith, Seth Curry, let these guys shoot then.
Let them shoot it. I would feel much more comfortable as a Clippers fan or being a part of the Clippers coaching staff if Finley Smith is the one who is rushing a shot with 1.5 seconds left on the shot clock after Luka's got to make some kind of tough pass because I'm now sending Paul George and Kawhi Leonard or whatever guys both at him with their long arms, and now he's got to make a tough pass to even get the ball there in the first place. I just can't envision
if you're two of the top 5 wing defenders in Paul George and Kawhi, Kawhi's obviously great. Paul George has great moments, but in this moment you have to go over. You have to go over the screen. You got to fight through. But someone's got to say, I'm locking down Luka this possession. You guys handle the rest.
He's mine. And just rotate.
For them to get a half-ass pick, to get a switch, to get Reggie Jackson on him in the end, you're just going to the I fucking hate it. I hate it. Like, I just hate it. And Luka, you did what you had to do. You're absolutely insane. Another thing I hate is the nonstop comparisons of Luka and Larry Bird. They're completely different players. It's not the same thing.
No.
I understand Larry Bird is white. I understand Luka is white. That's where the comparison is. That's it.
That's it.
I hate it.
Luka is much more of like a combo of Harden and LeBron.
Right. Like his comp is in the league. It's James Harden.
He's a bigger James Harden, below the rim LeBron. Whatever you want to do, but I mean, the guy's on a trajectory to be one of the top 10 players of all time. You win some championships, he's probably going to be considered, depending on how many. Like, he's a guy who can get into the top 5 all-time conversation if he wins multiple championships.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get there. But, yeah, I mean, his talent, he's got all the talent in the world.
Talent-wise and production-wise, this quickly in the league, he's on that kind of trajectory. So I get it. You compare it. I get it, but he's not. They're different. No. They're different guys. He moves way better than Bird did.
Oh, he moves way better than Bird did, and I just don't want it. It somehow turned into a debate or a comp. And somehow it turned into a debate of Larry Bird is better than Luka because Larry Bird smokes cigarettes at halftime and blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. It's two different things. Why are we doing this?
It's stupid.
That's a good one, Big O. So he's more Magic than he is Bird.
Yeah, better. How about this? He's a combination of Magic and Bird.
I mean, if Magic had a step back, he's more Magic than Bird.
The other thing with this Clippers Mavs scenario, and look, the Clippers, this is no walk in the park. There's no way to know if they're even going to make it out of this round. I still think at the end of the day they're going to win.
But the light switch is turned on. It's on now.
Oh God!
Look how bright my screen is.
The light switch thing really worked for Philly. Boban has been absolutely murdering them in his limited minutes, like just murdering. It's a problem going forward because other teams have big guys that are going to play more than Boban. I think it's Noah time. Just for
God damn it, that's where this is going.
10 minutes.
Just God damn it.
You got to like for these big scenarios, start trying to figure it out now. I really Big Oso says he's Magic mixed with Bird.
Yeah.
I think you got to start figuring out ways to deal with these minutes because he's just Boban's just absolutely destroying.
I mean Boban, he's a nice variable, nice switch. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be playing as much with Porzingis. I mean, he has been, but yeah, I like Boban. No, it's not Noah time. No to Noah time.
Disagree. Joakim Noah, all heart, always has been.
Hasn't played all year.
Always will be. No heart. Most of the 76ers.
God damn it.
Most of the Sixers, no heart. Tobias had his best game. He did show heart returning to the floor after he took just a ridiculous fall, man.
That's gross.
Looks like he got RKO'd for real.
Out of nowhere.
But there's not a whole lot to say about this game. I know that it was a 4-point game.
I can't wait. For somehow the Sixers getting eliminated today, and somehow I know we're going to bring up the Sixers again. I hate this team. We've been saying it since the start of the bubble. This team, the dynamic, the tone, it sucks. They got. I mean, Brett Brown's good as gone. I can't see him staying at all. No. They have no choice but to run it back. I don't see what else they can do. They're not going to trade one of their all-stars, or not going to trade Simmons or Embiid. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they got the balls to do it. They should do it.
They won't do it without giving a new coach,
right?
Not at coaching them.
Yeah, so they're going to run it back. They got to find shooting in the offseason.
They're going to do everything in their power, I think, to try to move the Horford contract. And I don't know how they do it.
Great. Give it to the Knicks. We'll take 3 first.
I think Horford had his best game of the series. He had 12 points and 10 rebounds.
Is that Boban or is that Horford?
Why? I mean, who would have been better in the series?
I mean, not better. Who would have been the same for a lot less money?
They're a mess. The Celtics look good. The thing with the Celtics, and we loved how they handled the bubble.
Yeah.
The first 8 games. They were playing their guys, getting into a rhythm, getting into playoff mode before the playoffs start. You saw it. You saw Horford and Tobias Harris resting in games after they lost Ben Simmons, the Sixers.
I seen Al Horford resting during a game too.
They handled it differently, and you saw, the difference in philosophy.
Trade Simmons for CP3, Big Oso. You can't. You just can't. I mean, one, the contracts don't match up, but I like it because you got, I think the 76ers have to go all in. They have to go all in now, or they're rebuilding soon. So I think they have to go all in. That would definitely help a lot of their problems. I mean, they're going to need, the Thunder would have to attach additional draft picks to make that work. They have to attach additional salary and draft picks to make that work. Because you're trading realistically, Ben Simmons like 23 for Chris Paul, who's 35 on a $40 million a year contract. So I think it's a conversation somewhere in there that can be done if both teams are motivated. I just think Philly thinks Simmons is too much of an asset over how much better it would make them to win a championship or put them closer to winning a championship. I think Philly wouldn't make it, wouldn't do anything with it. The Celtics, Kemba Walker, man, everybody's afraid about Kemba and injuries and knee and everything like that. He's been playing great. He's been playing great the whole bubble. He's been really, setting up this offense. Remember, they're doing this all without Gordon Hayward. So it's been really fun to watch. I really like that Kemba's healthy and contributing, and it's just a fun team to watch. Jason Tatum, god damn it, he's good. He
is so good. Jaylen Brown has jumped a level. I trust Jaylen to create his own shot. I trust him shooting step backs. I think that wing pairing is phenomenal. I think it's the way that teams are going to start drafting. I think they're going to start looking for guys that they can pair up to play together just like that. I think that it's going to kind of shift from we're looking from that guy who can have the ball in his hands and shoot jumpers and all that. I think it's going to shift to now we need all these wings to stop all these wing players. And they have it. I mean, you love Marcus Smart. The guy played 42 minutes, only had 8 points, but you always feel like he's making a difference. And it's just the culture in the organization that makes you feel like they care and they want it more than other organizations do.
And if anybody cares about plus minus, Marcus Smart played 42 minutes, had 8 points, and was plus 12, the highest in the game for the Celtics plus minus. Marcus Smart makes impacts on games. His ability to play defense, care, and just be annoying really helps teams, and you need that guy.
You do, and they got him, and he's one of the assets where if they wanted to upgrade different positions, he's a guy that a lot of teams would ask for.
For sure. Most championship teams have that guy, that Rodman-esque annoying. Dellavedova was a big impact during that Cavs series. Granted, we can go over dirty stuff. That's a different conversation, but you need that annoying guy.
Yeah.
And Marcus Smart's it.
Yeah, for sure. Sila says, Raptors depth is scary. Still needs that closer, though. Boston has it all. Season would be a failure if they don't win the East. I think they just got to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean,
I think so too. I think
the Raptors are still great. The Bucks are still gonna, make it really hard. They're still probably the favorites. So a failure, I don't know, because the Boston still has their own issues that I think is going to get exploited at certain points of the playoffs.
Listen, the Celtics are going on to the second round of the playoffs. There's no failure in that season. My favorite team just finished sixth in the standings and got the 8th pick. That's a failure. Getting to the second round of the playoffs, I would trade my last 7 seasons for. It's just what it is. The Celtics being where they're at with the amount of injuries they have with Gordon Hayward, it's been great, and I'm jealous. I mean, I'll switch whenever they want. The Raptors, for sure. I don't disagree with you. They don't have that. They do need that Kawhi closer type. They don't really have it. Lowry's not that guy. He showed moments where he can be, but the difference is the Raptors' defense is so damn good. They don't really play many closeout games.
Yeah, Lowry is definitely a guy who's going to close out some of the games. He's going to be a guy who hits big shots. Van Vliet is going to be a guy who hits some big shots. And then Siakam, I think, is probably going to hit some big shots as well. So they're in a weird scenario where they don't have the typical number one option. but they have multiple guys that I do trust in the clutch to go get you a bucket. Now, when you're talking, there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock, who gets the ball, that's a little different. Obviously you can go to Tatum if you're Boston.
You go to Norman Powell if you're Toronto.
Yes, it wouldn't shock me with the things that Nick Nurse does, to be honest. But their defense, I think, far and away has been the best in the bubble. Granted,
if you're up by 10 with 2 to go, you don't need a closeout guy.
You're playing the Nets in round 1, who are without basically the entire roster, and we're not even talking about KD and Kyrie in this scenario. So it's definitely going to get a lot more real for them in round 2.
Yeah, bravo to the Nets. Bravo to Cavers LeVert. Good job. They came out and tried the ball in the bubble.
They balled out. Today we got 4 more games. Now that 2 different series are over, we're going to actually start getting into shorter days. I think not tomorrow. The next day is only going to have 2 games, something like that. Maybe it is tomorrow. So I think the Magic series probably gonna be over in 5.
Yeah, Bucks went out. They took care of business last time. They kicked the Magic's ass. They went out and took care of business. So I think the Bucks, they needed that game. I mean, they really needed to do that. They needed to lay the smackdown. So good job to the Bucks. Magic still fighting hard, but unfortunately, from this year to last year, it's the same result.
Yeah, obviously it sucks. Jonathan Isaac's out. Isaac's probably their best player.
Well, that would make you feel good. I mean, if I were the Magic, when is the time to really start looking to trade Aaron Gordon for something?
Probably last year or the year before, but
they're showing they don't need him.
Shout out Jeff. It's great to see the Eastern Conference be this good again. 4 legit contenders. I agree. I love the parity in the entire league this year. The Magic have to trade Aaron Gordon because Aaron Gordon is a 4.
Yeah.
Jonathan Isaac's a 4.
Right.
So Aaron Gordon, you're paying him $20 million. He's not going to be a bench player. You're not going to get the most out of him by having him be a 3. You got to find some scenario to balance your roster. This is literally off the top of my head. I think we've mentioned it before, like some kind of like Buddy Hield for Aaron Gordon, just something that both teams are going to balance their roster out where you're getting similar caliber guys. I think that's the move for Orlando in the offseason.
I got something for you.
Okay. Let's go.
What about like an Aaron Gordon or first for Blake? Who says no?
I don't know why. For Blake Griffin?
Yeah.
I think that Detroit literally jumps for joy from that phone call. Blake's hurt always. He's making so much money, and he's still a 4. So you're not getting rid of the.
You're not, but I think he fits next to Vucevic. I mean, again, you're not solving your Isaac problem with that, but
I think that's what you have to figure out going forward. Granted, Jonathan Isaac has also had a ton of injuries, so you got to start really thinking like, hey, we could tough this out with Jonathan Isaac. But it's going to get to a point where there's like another injury after he comes back from this. How do we we can't pay him a max deal like he's going to want. How do we handle it from there? But for now, you assume that he comes back healthy whenever he's coming back. And I think you got to balance the roster out. And I think you got to do it for either like a pure 3 or like a pure 2. I think they believe in Fultz going forward. Fultz hasn't killed it, but he's definitely been like a playoff level starting point guard for them. But they need some shooting besides Vucevic and DJ Augustine to start balancing out the roster. And Aaron Gordon until they get there.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon, to me, he's like the street ball legend. I don't think I've ever seen him play well, but I hear he's great.
Yeah, he really balled out in those dunk contests. Good game. Rockets Thunder was a good game the other night.
Yeah, it was.
We have a series now. I still think the Rockets are just better. So I expect the Rockets to come out and win tonight. it took James Harden fouling out for OKC to really, but I think what that showed is how good James Harden is, how underappreciated he is, because you see, obviously the system is built to maximize James Harden's talents. You're putting shooters around him, you're spreading the floor, you're letting him do his thing, but everybody talks about how much they hate it. It sucks. They kind of say, yeah, Harden's awesome, but you know, other players could do this too if they were given the chance, blah, 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 blah. James Harden goes out. You see Eric Gordon kind of try to do it. He can't do it. There are very few players who can do for 38 minutes a night what James Harden does every single night with the focus of the defense on him. Everything he does, I think is so underappreciated. It might be shitty to watch, but the dude is crazy. Mr. Antoine, the defense from Lou Dort, though.
I love my boy Lou Dort. Love him. I also love that we also switched it to Lou because I can't say his first name.
No.
Lou Dort is the goddamn best. I love the story. I love everything he's doing so much. Our boy's got to get a jumper. They're literally not even guarding him on offense. Legitimately, they're not guarding him. They're playing 4-on-5 on offense. So Lou Dort has to get a jumper. If that dude gets a jumper from anywhere, he's a different player. But good for him. He's making his name be known in the playoffs. I think I said it the second time we went live with this. I love Lou Dort. I love everything he's doing. It's a lot of fun to watch. That grit and grind. He's just like a bigger Patrick Beverley, but he's got to get Beverly's jumper.
Yeah, he looks like a wrestler.
Yeah,
he's brolic. He is jacked up.
He's huge. I love it.
He's the man.
That's that annoying player I'm talking about. That Marcus Smart type annoying player. You need that guy. Unfortunately, that guy also needs a little bit of a jumper.
A little bit. And he's young. I'm sure he's obviously – you can't play defense that hard and not be a hard worker.
Yeah.
So
I really hope he finds it. I hope he finds it. I love this. I love the way he plays. I love his grit. I'm all in on Lou Dort. James Harden's ridiculous. We didn't know that. Chris Paul had stupid threes at the end of the game. Chris Paul is showing clutch. It's just ridiculous what Chris Paul's doing at the age he's doing it, and it's just carrying this roster with him. It just shows that one player is making everybody else better. James Harden, if you like, I understand this is not always the best to watch, but just appreciate the shit he's doing, man. Like his step back, it's fucking stupid. Like it's ridiculous the way he can adjust his entire body to be able to pull off a big shot. Like the range on his step back, and I don't mean the distance. I mean from where he's stepping back off of his, left foot back to his right foot or whatever the case may be is ridiculous. It's almost like the top of the free throw line. He can jump back to behind the 3-point line to take the shot. The range that he can cover is just ridiculous. And the fact that he can change his speeds and fake the step back to go drive and get foul, it's retarded. Like I don't understand what can you do about it?
Nothing. The answer is nothing. Hope he misses. Force him into the toughest shot you possibly can. Body him up. Hope he doesn't blow by you and get to the free throw line. That's why he's the hardest guy to guard right now, probably in the entire league. But yeah, he's just so good. He's so good. Somehow has become underrated because of how annoying he is and how much everyone thinks he travels. But like, it's not a travel. He's just got ridiculous footwork. And I know that sounds insane, but it is what it is. Moving on to Lakers Portland. Portland's they're fighting and clawing. They're doing what they can. They won game 1. Wouldn't be shocked if they won tonight. If they forced a game 7, would I be shocked? Not shocked, but I'd be surprised. I think the Lakers have kind of figured it out. We finally saw like Anthony Davis just be like, hey, I'm just so much bigger than you guys.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron put up 38 last game too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if LeBron can hit another 4 threes, it's a different thing. But yeah, Anthony Davis definitely showing his force that, hey, remember me? I'm huge.
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers' depth still sucks. They still
that's not a statement.
They still night to night have no idea where they're going to get their bench production from. Is it going to? I mean, Danny Green still hasn't really showed up. Kyle Kuzma, I don't trust him.
Have you seen the pictures of Melo and LeBron guarding each other in 2003?
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
It is. It's crazy. And you could, you could even go earlier to that from high school, probably 2001, 2002, guarding each other, which is crazy how long that's been. I also saw a fun picture of LeBron elbowing Gary Trent Jr. and side by side with LeBron elbowing Gary Trent Sr.
That's funny.
So he has been guarded by both of those dudes. And with the way that his body works, he'll probably end up guarding Gary Trent III at some point. But this is going to be a fun one. I just love – I don't love watching the Lakers. I don't think they're fun to watch because I don't think they have many fun players. I don't really even think LeBron is that fun to watch. He still does things that make me go, it's insane that he does this, and he makes jaw-dropping plays. But I don't think Anthony Davis is all that fun to watch.
I don't enjoy watching Anthony Davis, but I do enjoy watching LeBron. Appreciate it while it's here.
I appreciate it. He's not one of my favorite players to watch in the league, but I like watching his game. His basketball IQ is ridiculous. He can pick apart any team in the league and just learns and picks up different things as the game goes along. I don't like watching Kuzma.
No.
I like Danny Green, but I don't think anyone's like, you know who I want to watch tonight? Danny Green. I don't think the Lakers are a fun team, but the Blazers are. I loved Melo going off on that little run in the third quarter.
It's so much fun. I don't know if that's a Knicks bias, but it's so much fun. I love watching Melo cook.
I don't think it's a Knicks bias because I love it too, and I hate the Knicks. I just think that Melo's one of those guys who, from that 2003 draft class, that it's just fun to look back on him because Melo's another guy whose career is just incredibly underrated. The guy was legit really, really, really good. He had a couple of, or a few, shitty years at the end, a couple with the Knicks, even though he was still good on those Knicks teams. And, then he had that weird year with the Thunder, the whole Rocket situation. And now his whole entire career is underrated. And he's looked at as this guy who can't win. But, he won a national title in college as a freshman. It's no easy feat. He won multiple gold medals, one of the best Olympic scorers in, or I guess maybe the best ever for the USA. He's been to big games in the West. His Denver teams were good, and you could say it took Chauncey Billups for him to get there. It's like, yeah, when you get that deep in the playoffs, you need other good players. Not that I need to be a
Melo defender, but you go down the list of teammates Melo's had compared to LeBron, it's not even close.
It's not. Melo's played with Allen Iverson, Amari Stoudemire, and Chauncey Billups. Who's like that? Peak Melo is the best player on the team. Tyson Chandler? I don't know. It's not like Melo's played with a murderer's row. Melo's career could have gone a lot differently. And he took the Kobe Lakers to 6 games, and surprise, surprise, the Nuggets, J.R. Smith, and I think it was even Chauncey too, they messed up an inbounds play at the end of the game to lose a game that they probably should have won, which would have at least been a 7-game series or possibly beat a Laker squad the year that, the Nuggets made it really far in the playoffs. So it's not like he even had a bad run there. But watching him go off in the third quarter, vintage Melo, just get to his spots, knock down big shots. It was so much fun. And it's, one of the
I hope they bring, they need him. I hope to bring him back next year.
Yeah, I agree. Last game on the slate, my boy Jimmy G Buckets, G stands for Gets, is looking to close out the Pacers in a clean sweep. The Philadelphia 76ers decided
already brought him up.
They decided they did not want Jimmy Buckets. They instead gave his money to a guy who averaged 6.5 points a game over a 4-game series, and Jimmy Buckets about to sweep a first-round playoff series. So, good job, Elton Brand.
Yeah, are we sure Jimmy would have went back there?
I think if you give him the extra year, he may have. But you're right. He didn't want to be there because he saw what a losing culture looks like.
Right. He loves the culture of Miami. He said it from the start. He loves the culture of Miami. And Spoelstra is just showing why he's a great coach. I mean, the Pacers are definitely, they're not as deep. They don't have the guys, but they're fighting, and I enjoy watching them. They're fighting every game to try to see what they can possibly do, but they're just outmatched. I mean, Spoelstra's getting everything he possibly can out of the Heat and all of his players, and Jimmy's doing something that we need him to do: close out games.
Yeah. And I think that Jimmy's probably had Miami on his mind since Dwayne Wade joined the Bulls. I feel like
makes sense.
I feel like that's probably when the recruiting started. Like, hey, the Heat are a real organization.
Right.
This Bulls situation we're in sucks. He saw the dysfunction in Minnesota. Granted, he caused a lot of that dysfunction.
Sure.
But it was about the culture guys with Cat and Wiggins not giving it their all. Obviously saw the dysfunction and the culture situation in Philly, finally got to a spot where everybody's on the same page. And it's so much fun to watch. There's a really great video of Goran Dragic going around where he's just mic'd up and just showing, his abilities as a leader. They have great chemistry. They play as a team. Everybody buys into their role. Nobody's trying to play a role that they're not suited for. They all just want to win. They all want to play defense. Even when it doesn't look pretty sometimes, they're still trying, giving it their all. Spoelstra continues to be one of the better coaches. I'm really looking forward to seeing if Miami could put up a fight with Milwaukee in round 2.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun series. I'm excited for it.
Let's see. Let's go back to the comments. Big Osa. Who has a better step back, Luka or Harden? Who is harder to guard? Luka is better at both, in my opinion.
I think it's Harden for now. Harden's been doing it longer. Luka can definitely get there, but I think the hardest part is I think he's way faster in my opinion. So that step back to drive, I think Harden's such an expert at getting fouled and living on the free throw line to where I think Luka can possibly get there, but there's no way he lives anywhere near on the free throw line like Harden does.
So, yeah, I think Luka was somewhere around like 8 or 9 free throws a game, which is obviously elite, but he's going to have a season where he's at like 11.5 free throws a game.
Yeah, it's going to be that one year where he finds keto.
Yeah, because if that happens, it's a complete wrap.
It's going to be different though, because he is doughy, but maybe that allows him to bounce off of people,
which is something they've always said about Harden too.
Right. Sure.
And I don't disagree. I think Harden's better as well. One, he's a better shooter. And
right.
his form is great, and he takes a lot of tough shots. Like, I'm not saying Luka's a bad shooter. Like, a lot of people try to pretend that he is. He's not a bad shooter. He's just shooting really high difficulty shots. But so is Harden, and Harden makes more of them. Granted, this has been Harden's thing from the jump. Harden is the number one of this. He started the whole trend of the step backs. Not that players weren't doing step back jumpers before him. He just took it to another level.
Yeah, it's insane. And
Luka's got great footwork, but Harden's is better. And I think Harden's handle is better. Luka's got a great handle. Great handle. For a guy his size, it's absurd. He's shifty. He gets low. All of that. Harden, underrated. Probably one of the 2 or 3 best handles in the entire league. So I think Harden just in general is better at all of that. But Luka's got advantages that Harden just doesn't have because he's got a couple of inches on him. So, that's my thing.
See. Time will tell. Harden right now, Harden's been doing it this has been a while. This is a while in the Harden show. We're like a year and a half into the Luka show, but Harden's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, like I said, I think Luka's going to win MVP next year. But right now, I think Harden's still got the slight edge over him. But obviously, with games like yesterday for Luka, this could change at the drop of a hat, and it could swing the momentum either way. All right, best bets for August 24th. We're back. I think I'm going to go Houston -3 again.
I'm obviously going Houston -3. I'm all in on the Rockets, have been from the beginning. After losing last game, I can't see Harden getting fouled out again. So I think the Rockets are going to take care of business.
Yeah. But shout out to SGA. Another
really
good game.
Really good game. I mean, he's showing that he's a contributing player in the playoffs. Shout out to SGA. I'm jealous. Good job, Thunder, on making that trade to get him.
Yeah, huge shot too.
Who would you rather have, just straight up, Paul George or SGA right now?
Yeah, if you put that's the ironic thing about, like, the Clippers don't get Kawhi without making that trade.
Yeah,
but looking back now, I think that if you put Gallinari and SGA on that Clippers team, they're
Paul George is. I mean, he's been playing so bad. So I mean. And he owned up to it, which I like. That, I like that he was honest about it. He just said, it's a different series if I was playing well. So, and he's right. He's not playing well. So, I appreciate him coming out and saying and owning it. Now, I mean, obviously he's got to show it to change.
No doubt about it. Yeah, we'll see if Paul George is gonna have a moment. As long as his shoulders aren't really jacked up, he'll have a moment. That's gonna do it for this morning's episode of Morningwood. As always, you can watch replay on YouTube. You can watch replay on Twitter. And we are going to have a really fun intro video that'll be a surprise coming out soon. Hopefully as soon as possible. We'll let you know when that happens. And really excited about this.
This hurt my feelings.
Really, really excited about it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Another good slate of games tonight. Can't wait to talk them. Peace.